it is Monday. And you know what that means? It means that last night's race was not able to be broadcast live. However, we have got it here for you to enjoy on this bank holiday in the UK. I hope it's sunny where you are. So, this is our Formula X season number 5, round number 3, and it's the Blue Moon 100. This is a blue ribboned event here at SNL. It has run every single season in the Formula X category, and we had a pole position shootout. It's a 1-by-1 qualifying format, and it's the first time we've done it here at Blue Moon. And in that session, drivers go out in the reverse of the championship standings. So it was at the front DB4, his first race for Brawn GP. Then we had Bad Peso in the Arrows, Digital Blasphemy in the Ferrari, Intulu in the Toyota. Then we had Cthulhu in the Aston Martin, Jam in the Ferrari, Wolfbane in the Brawn, Alexis Maximus in the Aston Martin, Speckmere in the Toyota, and then followed by Cool Dude Boy in the Jordan, Drunk Susan in the Lotus, and Bunny's also in the Lotus because he's the championship leader. At this stage, he has 41 points from Drunk Susan, 37, 36 for Cool Dude Boy, 35 for Speckmere, Alexis Maximus, 33 points, Wolfbane, 30 points, as has Jam, Cthulhu, 28, JJ Trim in the Arrows, unfortunately not with us yesterday, Intulu with 20 in the Toyota, Digital Blasphemy with 14, Bad Peso 12, and Carl Trim on 5. The Team Championship Lotus leading that from Aston Martin 78 to 61 points, Toyota 55 points, Ferrari 44, Jordan 41, Arrows 37, and Brawn on 34. But it's very early in the season. The drop scores will count after this round because we will have 3 races in. But as you can see, on pole position with fabulous time in the qualifying, as I say, 1-by-1 in qualifying, but he was on pole by 1/10 of a second, which is huge around here, and that is Drunk Susan in the Lotus in them. And then it gets very tight between everybody else. Bunny's in 3rd place, so the top 3 in the championship, up there in the top 3 in the qualifying. Alexis Maximus there in 4th in his Aston Martin. He's closely followed by his teammate Cthulhu, also in the Aston Martin. In 6th place, we then have Speckmere in the Toyota. 7th place was Wolfbane in the Brawn, the defending champion in that car. In 8th place was Jam in the Ferrari. And then we had a bit of a gap. Bad Peso there in the Arrows, and then a little bit of a gap with Intulu there in 10th place. Digital Blasphemy in 11th, and at the back, starting his first race in SNL, is DB4. There he is in the Brawn. It's nice to see him joining us here at the Sunday Night League. And without further ado, let's get this race underway. So it's 100 laps here, a rolling start, an unusual format for the Sunday Night League, but a rolling start here, 100 laps around Blue Moon, and it is Drunk Susan taking them away. Everybody joining up, lining into Turn 1. Turn 1 is flat in these cars, however it is tricky when you are following closely behind. We're on the curb cam. As you see behind, we've got drivers bouncing around a little bit. Going through, we're looking at Alexis Maximus going down the back straight. It's an early start, but he's already on the overtake. These cars have overtake. Everybody is on hard tyres as well, apart from Bad Peso, who has got... Oh, my keyboard's not deciding to work. That is annoying. Oh, we've got a little bit of Wolfbane going high out of the final corner. Gonna have to go old school with this because the keyboard is not working for some reason. But Alexis and Cthulhu closely together. Speckmere is in 7th place. Oh, a little bit of smoke. Jam in 8th. Everybody really where they started. Bad Peso and Digital Blasphemy. Then we have Intulu, and at the back we have TB4. As we'll go on board with Alexis. He is in 3rd place in the Aston Martin. Tiny in the chat saying keyboard doesn't work in the replay, annoyingly. Well, that is daft. Thank you very much. You can see we have Bunnies behind us. Just set the fastest lap, but Jam has set the fastest lap now as Alexis goes up the inside for turn 1. You can see them all going very hard. Bunnies going up into the wall, but I think that is a car has gone off. That is... Oh, I could not find him. There, it is Wolfbane. What happens to him then? We go on board with the defending champion. We can see a bit of bumping happening. He ends up in a wall a little bit, but then, oh, somehow, well, he's ended up spinning round. What on earth happened there? Specmere then. On board with the Toyota driver. A little bit of tapping going on. It is a very jittery front, as then all of a sudden, and that was very odd. Very odd there. As Specmere carries on, so not waiting for Wolfbane, although I don't think there's much he could have done about that. Well, at the front, pulling away is Drunk Susan. So Drunk Susan leading from Cool Do Boy with Alexis Maximus and Cthulhu right behind. Jam now up into 5th place with Bunnies in 6th. Bad Peso is in 7th with Specmere in 8th. And Digital Blasphemy also joining the field. A little bit of a gap, although they go 3 wide into turn 1. That is very brave of them. A little bit of tapping going on though, as Bunny's on the outside there, losing momentum. And he's getting attacked now by Intulu. Intulu deciding to bump draft instead. And at the back is Wolfbane. He's off the back of the field. Whilst at the front, it's the 2 Aston Martins now attacking, and Alexis is on the overtake. So interesting to see drivers using their overtake, and Alexis takes the lead, 185 miles an hour on the hard tyres. Cthulhu following his teammate through. Cthulhu's hit the wall. Cthulhu's hit the wall as there is also a crash at the back. I think that is FB4. What happened to him? On board with the Brawn GP driver. Going into turn 1. Keeps it floored. And just touches the wall, I think. And that spun him round. Although, did he get hit from behind? Let's just have a check. Got Intulu and Bunnies. Can't move the camera. No, he lost it on his own. Came across the track. That was very scary for Bunnies. As we look at Bad Peso, he's getting ahead of Cthulhu. Cthulhu's dropped down to 8th place now, but he's used half his overtake on lap 5. We've got 100 laps here to join the front of the field. We've got the 2 Ferraris with Cool Do Boy. In 3rd is Jam, 4th is Cool Do Boy. Digital Blasphemy, though, joins his teammate then. He's gone on board with the Ferrari driver. You can see his teammate just ahead of him as Jam goes into the wall. Jam goes into the wall a little bit. It's got some damage as well, as there goes Digital Blasphemy. So Digital Blasphemy, what happened there? A few accidents then happening with the drivers at the moment. So Digital Blasphemy was in 3rd place, goes through the corner, just touches the back of Drunk Susan and is into the wall. That's not going to be very helpful. It's down to 10th place now. We go back to the front of the field. Got Specmere in 4th. He's on the inside of Jam and Cool Do Boy. So they're trying to get the gap back to Drunk Susan ahead. Jam running a little bit wider than Specmere into the final corner, as Alexis brings them all lower down to the infield. Alexis leading this race then. He's got a bit of a gap. You can see it's hard to pull away, although Alexis has done very well to keep his position ahead of this field. Drunk Susan currently in 2nd place with Specmere in 3rd. Cool Do Boy in 4th place on board with the Jordan driver. You can see in the background we've got Cthulhu behind. Cthulhu currently in 4th place. It's top 6 pulling away now from Bad Peso. Bad Peso there in the arrows. He's got Bunny's just behind him. The championship leader down in 8th place. This is a brutal place to be having problems. We've got Intulu in 9th. He's got Wolfbane behind him. Wolfbane having an attack. Digital Blasphemy down in 11th place. And there we have FRL TB4. His debut not going as planned, but we have the Aston Martins back at the front of the field. Cthulhu, though, and Specmere having a big fight as this top 6 try to pull away from the rest of the field. On board with Toyota driver. Going through turn 1 for the 9th time. Just holds position. Cool Duboy and Jam behind. Jam has dropped a lot of time, in fact. So Jam's dropped off the back of this pack. He's got Drunk Susan pushing him along. So they're trying to get themselves back at the front. So the top pack now are 4 drivers. It is incredibly important that you stay with everybody else. I think Jam just hit the wall on the exit of turn 1 there in the background. Let's have a look at the fuel then, because this will be a fuel race. We've got Alexis, though, attacking the overtake. His teammates only got just over a quarter left. They are using their overtake. They're trying to pull away from the top 2. We've got Cool Duboy with a little bit more fuel than those around him. Jam has got damage at the front of his car. That catch up, so he must have hit the wall as into the pits comes Wolfbane. So Wolfbane coming in at the end of lap number 10. Oh, sorry. Yeah, at the end of lap number 10. That is very different. So there is Wolfbane in the pits. Unfortunately, we're having to use the replay system, and it doesn't keep the drivers' online tags as the names. It uses. Yeah, it's got the Aston Martins ahead of him. The Aston Martins are all over the track. They're weaving around, going low, and helping themselves. Cool Duboy just behind, keeping them in contact. But we can see now the difference. Jam and Drunk Susan, they're in the low 40 seconds, whilst those ahead of them are lapping nearly a second a lap quicker because of the benefit of the slipstream. So the benefit of slipstream is helping these 4, and the Aston Martins using their overtake really quite aggressively. Already on lap number 12, we've got in front now Cthulhu ahead of his teammate Alexis Maximus. Thank you everybody that's watching us on a very different time schedule as well. Very different time schedule. Pat is in the chat saying, good, some bank holiday tri-oval fun to listen to while I'm at work. I'll do my best, Pat. I'll do my radio commentary as much as I can as the drivers go through then turn number 2. At the front of the pack is still Cthulhu and Alexis, with Specmere just falling back now. Cool Duboy also falling back, with Drunk Susan and Jam now swapping positions. They are further down though. They are definitely falling back. Bunny's now in 7th. He's trying to bring Bad Peso with him as they cross the line, but they're stuck in the mid 40-second bracket. And Tulu in 9th, with Digital there in 10th, and then Braun, unfortunately, 11th and 12th at the moment for their drivers. But Wolfbane has gone off kilter. He's gone and pitted. He did not change his tyres though. So the teams all have 3 sets of hard tyres available to them, apart from Bad Peso, who's got a set of softs available. The fuel situation, Alexis has a little bit more than Cthulhu, and Specmere has a little bit more than him. Cool Duboy, though, has more than them. And Cool Duboy actually has more fuel than everybody else at this front field. So this top 6, they're going to make the connection then. So Cool Duboy now into 4th, although Drunk Susan just does the pass. Oh, something weird happening there between Jam and Cool Dude Boy as well. So the connections may be being abused a little bit. Cool Dude Boy using a bit of overtake to try and keep at the back. Although 42.7 for him, he must be saving fuel. That is very slow. As Jam is back onto the back of Drunk Susan. Some very little overtake has been used by the Ferrari driver. And bump drafting again. So they are trying to work together to get to those in front, but it's just not happening. As Speckmere is just starting to fall away from those two Aston Martins. They are flying along. They're working together. The two Spaniards doing their best Fernando Alonso impressions by pushing themselves up to the front of this field, and they are going for it. Lap 17 of the 100. They are driving very well, pulling away now from Speckmere. Speckmere having to use the overtake to try and close that gap. He's dropped off the back too much. As the two Aston Martins go low once more. As we then see Drunk Susan and Jam trying to push each other along. Trying to make the gap to Speckmere. They go through turn 1. Keeping it clean. Cool Dude Boy in 6th place. There is Bunnies. He's now got a teammate in terms of bump drafting in Tulu in the Toyota. The championship leader currently down in 7th place. He's on a best lap, personal best for him. So Bunnies in 7th place, and Tulu there in 8th, working together. What you need, although in Tulu it looks like he's having a look at overtaking Bunnies. Maybe better working with Bunnies and trying to save some fuel. Although his fuel rate gauge is a lot less than Bunnies. It goes a little bit high into turn 1. Ad Peso there in 9th place on his own. With a 41.1 on his last lap, so just a 40.1. And TB4, he's on the pace, he's just on his own. And that's the problem. When you're on your own, you have nothing to give. The two Aston Martins then, their fuel is flashing. Everybody at the front, Speckmere is trying to make that connection with the two Aston Martins, but they're just flying away from the rest of the field. All these drivers are running the same settings. They have to send a screenshot of what they are doing. The Aston Martins are just flying along, working together as a team and just showing everybody the way. So, will they pit at the end of this lap? Yes, they do. They're both in the pits. So they're both in. What does Speckmere do? Speckmere stays out. So Speckmere continues, as does Drunk Susan and Jam. So they're staying out. They go through the first corner. Drunk Pirate Gaming saying the Aston Martin boys got it spot on. So Cool Dude Boy is falling into the clutches now of Bunnies, who's got in Tulu. Where have Alexis and Cthulhu come out? They've come out in 9th and 10th, and again, absolutely nose to tail. Full tanks have not changed their tyres, although Cthulhu's tyres are a lot worse than his teammate. But Speckmere at the front of the field pits, so he's on his own now. Drunk Susan and Jam. Jam's pulled out a little bit. Has Jam decided to save a little bit of fuel? He's lost the back of Drunk Susan though. So is this going to help, or is he deciding what to do? There's going to be a split then, so these drivers are struggling to get the fuel in. So in comes TB4, Digital Blasphemy also in, and so is in Tulu. At the front of the pack though, Jam has made the connection back to Drunk Susan as Jam goes into the pits, but Drunk Susan continues. So Jam only having 2% of fuel left. Cool Dubois keeps going. So Bunny's also there. Bad Peso staying on as well. Bad Peso's got a lot of fuel still in the tank as well. But those Aston Martins, they're working together. There we see. Is Alexis going to let Cthulhu go through? No, he does not. Cthulhu decides to stay in position. So they pitted on lap number 20. The two Aston Martins. Speckmere pitted on lap 21, 22. Jam has just come out as well. He has got Wolfbane catching him, whilst at the front of the field we have got the two... Where are they? There they are. The two Lotus drivers are in, so Drunk Susan is in. And Bunnies is also pitting. So at the front we now have Cool Dubois in the Jordan. He's trying to get possibly to lap number 25. So is Bad Peso. But not very far away. We go on board. Can we see Bad Peso ahead of us? Just a spot going into the final corner. You can see him going around the final turn there. So it's not a big gap. You lose about 25 seconds in the pits, as we can see Cthulhu in the mirror, bouncing behind the Aston Martin. Is behind his teammate. And turn 1. Speckmere, he's dropped a lot of time. He's all alone as well. This is not what you want in oval racing. He's got nobody with him. And then we've got Jam and Wolfbane together. But they've lost a lot of time as well. Remember though, Wolfbane is on a completely different strategy to everybody else. He pitted on lap number 10. As into the pits comes Cool Dubois and Bad Peso. So Cool Dubois into the pits comes the Jordan drive. He won the first round at Watkins Glen. He's looking for a result here. Bad Peso in the only arrows again. JJ Trim then not able to join us for some reason last night, despite finishing second at Spa. So, despite not being here, 2 drop scores this season as well in Formula X. But at the front of the field are Alexis Maximus and Cthulhu, the 2 Aston Martin drivers working perfectly. Can we see the Toyota behind them? Yes, we can, coming out of the final corner. As the 2 Aston Martins cross the line, what is the gap between them? It's about 4 seconds, which doesn't sound a lot, but on a 40-second lap, it's huge. It's nearly a straight. Not quite, maybe an exaggeration there. The Aston Martin's really working well together. Cthulhu going up the inside of his teammate. They are using the slipstream of each other. They're hitting 185, 186 miles an hour. In comparison, on his own, Speckmere he's hitting 184 briefly. So he's losing a couple of miles an hour, 3 miles an hour each time. Wolfbane has got Jam with him. He lost a little bit of time. There's Jam on the back of Wolfbane. Jam in 5th. Drunk Susan 6th. Drunk Susan running at a different pace as well. Digital Blasphemy and Intulu are together. Toyota driver is up to 8th. So Cool Dubois, after his pit stop, is fed out into 9th place. Has he filled up with fuel? I would expect so. Trying to get a long run. So second down on his best though. Bad Peso down to 10th place. With Bunnies in 11th. And TB4 in 12th. TB4 there in 12th place. Cthulhu in 1st place. 30 laps nearly completed here at Blue Moon Bay. And Cthulhu leads from his teammate Alexis. They enter lap number 30 now. On board with Alexis, second Aston Martin. Into turn 1. very nicely, not having any of the washing effect either. The front can be understeer if you're that close to the car in front, but he's driving very nicely, just setting a quick time. Jam is still the fastest lap though, set that on lap 2 I believe. You can see on the track map, these two Aston Martins are coming up to the lap TB4. TB4's lap times, as you can see, are not slow. That's the problem. He hasn't got anybody to go with. These drivers, these Aston Martin drivers, are lapping a second quicker than anybody else because they've got the tow. They've got the help of each other. Jam on the back of Wolfsbane. Just not close enough. Right now, here we have a group of 3 though. This is what you need. 3 drivers together. Although Intulu's gone a little bit wide and lost the back of them. So that wasn't ideal. Digital Blasphemy in 7th place. Keeping close to Drunk Susan. And you get the pass done on the Lotus, the Ferrari driver. So far this season not having the best of luck. As into the pits comes Wolfsbane. So Wolfsbane on lap 31, so he did 21 laps on those tyres and on that fuel. What does he decide to do in the Brawn as we see Digital Blasphemy and Drunk Susan? They're in the 40s though, so despite being together, I wonder if they're both saving fuel at this stage. Intulu there in 7th place, Bad Peso in 8th. There is Cool Dude Boy 9th, so Cool Dude Boy currently 9th place. Got Bunnies and TB4. TB4 going high around the outside of Bunnies. Not working together right now, maybe. Have a look at the lap times. Bunnies had a very slow lap. 46.5 on lap 31. That might be why TB4 has passed him, but in the background, there are the 2 Aston Martins absolutely flying along. As it stands, they're still in the 39s, whilst second down is Spekmir. So Spekmir is just on his own. Anybody, you have no chance. But then we have the drivers behind them. What are they doing in terms of lap times? They're actually slower. So Digital Blasphemy going, oh, Digital Blasphemy maybe squeezing Bunnies a little bit. Sorry, not Bunnies. Drunk Susan. Let's go on board. Drunk Susan managing to tack back into the slipstream. He's got Intulu behind him. They're trying to work together and get themselves some sort of advantage. Trying to catch up the cars in front. They're on their own, Spekmir and Jam. So these 3 should be able to lap about a second quicker, but they're not. They're 40.1 compared to Jam's 40.2, and as I say, Jam is on his own. And Spekmir did a 40.3, so those 3... Oh, what has happened there to Drunk Susan going into turn 1? Let's go on board with the Lotus driver. Into turn 1. Oh, just some weird glitchiness. He's touched the wall and then, oh no, what happened? We've got Intulu behind. Is it a similar scenario to what happened to Wolfsbane earlier in the race? So Intulu just minding his own business. There is... Well, Intulu's got no damage either, so that's weird. We definitely saw Drunk Susan having a spin. Cool Dude Boy though in 8th place. He's got past Bad Peso. Bad Peso going high. The only arrows in this race right now is 9th. Fighting with Cool Dude Boy as they cross the line. It'd be better working together. And then they could make the gap to Drunk Susan. So Drunk Susan and his drivers are all spread out. We've never seen this before at Blue Moon, where the field are just on their own. Drivers are on their own, and then you can see what the difference is between them and these two Aston Martins at the front of the field. The Astons are pulling away, they're able to work together because they've got somebody to work with. Those drivers on their own, all they can do is just run the line. You can see, actually, we've got a Brawn bump draft team happening. But in the background we've got the Aston Martins as well. So Brawn currently 10th and 11th. Aston Martin first and second. Oh, blue flags are now being in place. So Bunnies has been lapped on lap number 38. Already the race leaders are coming to lap cars. What does Cthulhu do? Stays low. His teammate is just behind him, pushing hard. Cthulhu, former champion here in Sunday Night League. He's also won this race before in the Red Bull days in his championship season, Season 2 champion. Cthulhu is going for it again. Alexis has won races. Has he won a race in Formula X? Yes, he has. He's won one race. He's a quick driver though, is Alexis. So he is a dark horse for this championship. Both of these drivers very strong. Their teammates as well. They're obviously both Spanish too, so there's no communication problems within the team. I know Alexis has found that difficult before in the past. But they're working together, the two Aston Martins. They go on to lap 40. Now they pitted on lap 20. Are they going to go a little bit longer? Specmir all on his own, as is Jam. They're both setting about the similar lap times. Jam maybe a 10th quicker. You can see Specmir. So maybe the gap is closing up between the two. But it's not close enough to work together. This just blasts me in 5th place. He's now got Intulu together with him. So Intulu has a little bit less fuel. They're now in the 39s, just. Although, again, the laps are not pulling out very well in terms of speed compared to those at the front. Everybody else, they're doing 40s. 40.3 for Bad Peso, 39.2 for TV4, and the same 39.1. So that's in very good comparison to the drivers. So you can see the teammates working together are able to hit those early 39s. Will we see the Aston Martins in the pits? Yes, they do. So they managed to get an extra lap of fuel in for this one. So let's in the pits. Specmir will retake the lead then. Oh, really? Aston Martin's getting a service right now. So, yes, full tank of fuel for them. Cthulhu is beyond a quarter. Alexis is nearly a quarter down on his overtake as well. So Jam, does Jam overtake them? Yes, he does. So Jam up into 2nd place. Specmir's fuel is flashing. So Specmir will come in this lap. So driving on your own is incredibly hard around here. There's Jam in 2nd place. Alexis, though, in 3rd. He's managed to jump his teammate in the pit. So Cthulhu's roll hoop is shining red. That shows he's got less than a quarter of his overtake left. Specmir is into the pits. So Specmir is in. And Jam takes the lead. So Jam leading, a yellow flag up ahead. So who has gone off? It is TV4. Oh, what on earth is happening there? TV4 going through turn 1. Oh, bit of a smash for him. There's a big group of cars. He's trying to get it back onto the track. And he's just spinning it round. They are notoriously difficult, so Bunnies gets past him. He's just struggling to get the car pointing the right way, so Jam coming by. We'll be hoping there's no problems. No. So Gazman, the team principal of Ferrari, watching this, seeing his man in the lead, but it's the Aston Martins that are absolutely dominating this race. They are second and third. They've done their pit stops. We've got Digital Blasphemy there in fourth place as well for Ferrari, with Intulu in fifth, keeping with him. Again, the lap times, they're in the 40s, so they are running different fuel strategies. Jam is still going round. Jam trying to push for as long as he can on this fuel. He's used a bit more overtake than we've seen previously. In comes TB4. His tyres, he'll be getting new fresh off boots, I would expect. There is Bunnies in 11th. Speckmere, after his pit stop, joins in 10th. He's got brand new tyres on his car. Bad Peso, his older tyres. Did the... Yes, they did. So both of the Aston Martins changed their tyres on their last stop. And in comes Jam. So Jam into the pits. And the Aston Martins will regain the lead. So they're running very well. It's Digital Blasphemy on his own in third place now. He's lost in Tulu. So Tulu comes into the pits. There is Jam getting his fuel. Again, we've got Wolfbane, again, running at a different strategy. He pitted on lap number 10. He's trying something different. Got Cool Duboy there in 5th. Got a quarter of a tank of fuel left, is Cool Duboy. Cool Duboy's pace looking pretty good then. Saving fuel. Drunk Susan in 6th. He seems to be saving fuel too. So they keep themselves up the field. We have Bad Poso there in 7th place. He's got a quarter of the tank left. Speckmere has pitted a few laps ago, a couple of laps. He's in 8th, with Jam just coming out on his lap, so he's got some new tyres. So it would appear that drivers are coming in, changing tyres now. Although Intulu didn't change his tyres. And neither did TB4. Again, TB4's lap times, you can see 40.3, absolutely fine. But this is what you need at the front of the field. You need your teammate. You need a bump draft buddy, and you'll get into the 39s, no problem at all for these Aston Martins. Tulu leading the race. We can see Digital Blasphemy now in the pits. There is the Ferrari driver. So he was in 3rd place. He's going to drop down the field once more. He's going to overtake his teammate. Speckmere has got Bad Peso ahead of him. Let's go on board with the Toyota driver. So on the road, I believe Speckmere is in 3rd place. He's currently in 7th. That shows the gap between him and the Aston Martins. It's a huge gap that is developing now. We then have Cool Duboy and Wolfbane. They're working together. So they're running a different strategy to everybody else, it would seem. Wolfbane, his fuel is starting to look a bit low, but Cool Duboy's is looking lower. Can he get to lap 50? Is he doing 25 lap stints? Susan, I think, is trying to do 25 lap stints, but it's not going to happen. He's going to have to pit very soon. He's not doing it this lap, though. It's hard to see where that fuel gauge is. It's very low. Will he be able to get into the pits and have no trouble? Speckmere there in 6th place. Has managed to pass Bad Peso. Jam is a bit closer. He did a 40.2. 40.5 there. What happened there? For Speckmere, I panicked there. I thought maybe the replay had gone corrupt. It's happened before in previous seasons. It could have happened there again. Thank you everyone that's watching. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are Sunday Night League. Usually we are here every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, Matt was on holiday, and our new commentator as well was unable to make it due to illness. So hopefully we should be all back for Yamagawa for round number 4, all live. So live qualifying, everything crazy. So 1 lap qualifying. It is pressure cooker time. And at Yamagawa as well, a lot of corners, a lot of technical corners as well. The pressure will be on. But right now, here at Blue Moon Bay, we are 50 laps down. We've got another 50 laps to go. And it's Alexis and Cthulhu absolutely dominating this for Aston Martin. As we see now, Wolfbane and Cole Dubois into the pits with Braun and Jordan, respectively. We've got Speckmere there in 3rd place. He's got TV4. Well, TV4's trying to overtake him. That is a very naughty boy. So Speckmere can use him as a bump draft. That will help Speckmere pull away from Jam. Jam was catching, but Speckmere will be able to get into these 39s now if he stays behind TV4. Does TV4 stay wide? He does go a little bit wider. And Speckmere, does he pass it? On board with Speckmere. Can we see the Braun? The Braun is still there. So Speckmere currently 3rd. He's got the Braun. He's weaving around. That's weird. I think he's maybe trying to say to TV4, I am a lap ahead of you. You shouldn't be racing me and making my life a little bit tricky and a little bit scary. Off he goes again then. Speckmere trying to get past. I don't think it'll happen. You can't really overtake going down the straightaway, as the Americans call it, as they go through turn 1, touch between them. So there we go. That should be the end of. Hoping to catch the back of TB4. In Tulu there in 5th place, all on his own. As I say, we've never seen this before at Blue Moon Bay. All these drivers just have nobody with them. Cole Dubois in 7th with Wolfbane in 8th. And we've got Bad Pace, I was going to say. Drunk Susan in 9th place. Drunk Susan finished 2nd on the road at Watkins Glen. Had a bit of bad luck with the rain at Spa. He's very fast though. We saw him in pole position here. You don't get pole position on an oval if you're not fast. It was very good. He had a big gap, so there is Bad Peso. Sorry, TB4. And TB4 is overtaking Speckmere again. So that is TB4. He might get a slap on the wrist from the stewards for this. He shouldn't be racing with a car a lap ahead of him. No, Cthulhu and Alexis. Oh, that's weird. Some weird stuff happening there between the two Aston Martins as they go down towards turn 1. They're very closely matched, these two drivers, irrespective of the equal machinery underneath of them. So Cthulhu and Alexis running at the front. They've got a huge lead. They've nearly got a lap. That is unbelievable. So Alexis and Cthulhu are going through turn 2. And Speckmere is on the home straight. That's a huge lead. That's probably about 25 seconds their lead over Speckmere. Jam doing 40.2s. So yes, a second down now on Speckmere. Speckmere using TB4. He's realised TB4 is only going to race me, so I'm going to use you as my bump draft buddy. He can do this. As the lap car, you can use the lapped car as a lap ahead car. You can use a lap car as your bump draft, but the bump draft cannot be done by a car that is a lap down. So he's running away. Jam is lapping a second a lap quicker now. Whilst Jam and Intulu are lapping very similar lap times. Digital Blast Me in 6th place. So we saw there are the Aston Martins. They've lapped everybody up to 6th place. They're absolutely flying, these two Aston Martins. They've worked so well together. This is domination from them. It really is. It is between these two then. Who's going to win this race here at Blue Moon Bay? I'm calling it now on lap 58. This is a fantastic drive from the two Spaniards. Working together perfectly. So yes, they've got about a 25-second lead over Speckmere. Speckmere now has a bump draft buddy. He's staying behind DB4, crucially. And that's pushing him away from Jam. Jam now in the 41.3s. Jam trying something different, possibly, to try and get an advantage somewhere. But there we go, Intulu on board with the Portuguese driver. And you can see the Aston Martins are in our mirrors. The blue flags are waving. We're going to see them disappear past us. There they go. Aston Martin's just flying along. Nobody can stop them today. Jam again back in the 41, so Jam must be fuel saving. So he's losing 2 seconds a lap nearly to the driver ahead. So we see the Aston Martins once again swapping positions. First and second. At the back of the field is Bunnies. Not having the best of luck. He's doing something different as well. He's in the 41.3s. But TB4 racing ahead of Speckman's right rear tyre, looking very worn now. Coming to the end possibly of their life. Bad Peso in 10th place. He's in the 42s as well, so he's going to have an issue. It looks like he's going to get overtaken by TB4. So TB4 trying to use the slipstream and just overtook. So that was a bit odd. Let's get on board with the Arrows driver as the blue flags, and then yep, just the speed difference between TB4 and Bad Peso was enough to help Bad Peso. So TB4, so TB4 working with Speckmere. Nothing wrong with what Speckmere is doing here. He's using the back marker as his bump draft buddy. As they pull away from Jam. Jam in the 41s. He's now got Intulu right behind him, so he's dropped back as Jam into Intulu. Fuel-wise, Jam has got more fuel than Intulu. So here we go, the Aston Martins into the pits then. They've gone a bit longer once more. Lap 63 they managed to get to. So in comes Alexis, in is Cthulhu. As I say, it's between these two then for the win. Speckmere on his own in 3rd place. He's worked really well, using an advantage with TB4, but TB4 now behind is bump drafting, and that isn't allowed. Lapped cars cannot use the car in front as a bumper. We've had it previously in previous seasons where lapped cars have tried to use cars ahead as a bump draft and taken them off. So to avoid that happening, not been allowed to do it for a couple of seasons. Here is Wolfbane in 8th place, working with Cool Dude Boy. They're in the 40.6s, so they're doing something different as well with their strategies. They're both on new sets of cards. So Blastme on his own, he's in the 40.1s. So some good lap times from Digital. He's all out of overtake though. So no overtake left for him. teammates just ahead of him in the 41.8. So Jam's had a slow lap there. 41.8. He's dropped off the back of Intulu. So Intulu there in 4th. So it's a Toyota 3-4. We've got an Aston Martin 1-2, Toyota 3-4, Ferrari 5-6. So that's worked out well for them. All the teams running high up. There we go, the Toyota in though on lap 65. And Tulu will go up into 3rd place as Jam goes up into 4th. Digital Blasphemy goes past Specmere as well. Where does Cool Dude Boy and Wolfbane feed out? So Specmere comes out of the pits in 6th place. So Cool Dude Boy and Wolfbane just going into turn 1 now. So Specmere just using some overtake, getting himself up to speed after his pit stop. He has not changed tyres. Neither did the Aston Martins. So the Aston Martins, they've got less overtake option available to them. Intulu currently in 3rd. He'll be stopping this lap. Jam not flashing yet. So Jam running something slightly different. Gone back into the fast pace, those back into 40.3s. So Jam deciding he's saved enough fuel maybe to get himself back on pace. 40.7 from Digital. We expect him in the 6th place. He's just made his pit stop. Cool Duboy and Wolfbane running 7th and 8th. And in 9th place is Drunk Susan. So Drunk Susan down the field as into the pits then comes Intulu. So the second Toyota makes his stop on lap number 67. Dropping down the field now as he does so. So Digital Blasphemy and Jam are not far from each other, although Jam will be stopping this next lap. I would expect that fuel is very low. They are about 4 seconds between each other right now, the two Ferraris, as Jam goes into the pits. And Alexis and Cthulhu, well, not quite a lap ahead of everybody, but there you see, Digital Blasphemy in 3rd place. They're not far off. Not far off at all. They're about 30-second lead over Digital Blasphemy now. Specmere, well, the gap between them and Specmere is about 30 seconds more than. So these two Aston Martins have absolutely dominated this race at Blue Moon. It is between those two as well. They're using their overtake. I'd be tempted to hold on to as much as possible to keep it ready for the final lap, although I wonder if these Aston Martins are starting to think about the final lap. They're going into lap number 70 now. Still a long way left in terms of laps though. They've got to do another pit stop for sure. Digital Blasphemy in 3rd place. He's got Specmere coming behind him. So it's Specmere using the Ferrari, helping them both. Deciding to go high into the final corner because Digital Blasphemy has completely run out of fuel. He had no fuel left then as he made his stop. We then see Wolfbane and he's got his teammate. So where's his teammate going? His teammate has got in the way. Well, he's got to stay out the way of the race ahead. TV4 currently there in 12th place. Bunnies has got a quarter of a tank left, so Bunnies is doing something different to those he's racing with. Bad pace out, his tyres are absolutely cooked. He's still got a long way to go in terms of fuel as well, so he's got to hold on tight to that car. As we see in Tulu and Jam, they're together again. Jam has short filled though. So Jam has got back with Intulu, but Intulu's got more fuel. Intulu. Jam's tyres looking okay. There is Drunk Susan. His right rear is looking very, very tired. Cool Dude Boy and Wolfbane in 4th place. So I think that's the only battle that is around at the moment. But we've got the race leaders. This is the biggest battle between the teammates as they approach TB4. So TB4 going high, keeping out of the way. Can he latch onto the back of them? No, he can't, it would seem. So we can see the battle for 4th place ahead of the 2 Aston Martins as they cross the line now, going into lap 74. So Aston Martin 1-2. Speckner still there in 3rd place. He's all alone though. It's a long gap between him and Cool Dude Boy. Lap times 39.6, 40.3. So Speckner is doing that lap time. You see everybody on their own doing a low 40. If you have a teammate or somebody to buddy up with, you can get into the 39s. That is what the Aston Martins have done all race long. It's why they've nearly got a lap on everybody else in the field. As I say, I've never seen it around Blue Lagoon where the drivers are just stuck on their own. Here we have Drunk Susan on his own. And we've got Jam and Intulu. They're both running slightly slower than the potential with those cars, so they must be doing a bit of fuel saving right now. Intulu using some overtake. He's just touched the wall on the exit, that is why. He's lost some momentum in comparison to Jam. Jam in the 40.2s, he was in the 39s. They were catching up with Drunk Susan. Drunk Susan will be pitting though this lap, he's got nothing left as he comes in. So they're all pushing the limits with their fuels. And you see Wolfbane and Cool Dude Boy, so they'll be coming into the pits this lap, so they're doing 25s, so they can see the race leaders behind them. The Aston Martins coming through on board with the Tulu. We see Wolfbane and Cool Dude Boy. They'll go into the pits. As the 2 Astons lead this field. And the next car on the road is the car in 3rd place. So the Aston Martins have nearly lapped the whole field. What a dominant display from these two. But as we said, this is what can happen. You can run in the 39s easily with a teammate. 39.3s. We've seen everybody else running 40s. Because they just don't have anybody to play with. There we are on board with Speckner. He's in the 40s. Good lap there, 40.1 for Speckner, but it's nothing compared to what is happening ahead. Oh, something's going on. Somebody's lost it. Digital Blasphemy's lost it. What happened to Digital Blasphemy? Going on board with the Ferrari driver, comes into turn 1. And just lost it. Hit the back. Oh, Cool Dude Boy. And, well, has lost the car. Trying to get it pointing the right way. Oh, bad peso. Had to have. The reactions of a cat were on board with the Arrows driver. He's got Drunk Susan in 10th place just behind him. These two are trying to do something different with the tyres. We can see then Digital Blasphemy. Whoa, that was scary for both of them. Digital Blasphemy then down to 10th place. He might go down to 11th as he's trying to get himself back to speed. He's got a lot of damage at the front of his car. He's down into 11th. And at the front of the field, the two Aston Martins, they've managed to negotiate all of the chaos around them. As they go now. Ooh, Alexis looking a bit more racy. What are they going to try and pull? So we've got Bad Peso up ahead with Drunk Susan as well. Bad Peso and Drunk Susan. So Drunk Susan's just made his pit stop. Bad Peso being lapped. Drunk Susan. Will he be lapped as well? He goes high into the final corner. Those are the two Aston Martins. So Drunk Susan's read the message. He's trying to keep out of the way of the leaders. As we then have Speckmere. And this is going to be depressing for Speckmere. He goes high in turn 2. Because there goes the Aston Martins. They have lapped the field here at Blue Moon. Speckmere in 3rd place can see 2nd ahead of him, but that's... and backs off them. Trying to get as close as he can, but he's a lap down on the two Aston Martins. He can't do anything about it. The Aston Martins, they've lost a little bit of time going through the traffic, but they're still in the 39s. They're on lap 81, everybody else is on lap 80. Jam currently in 4th place on his own, as I say. Just nothing you can do when you're on your own. And Tulu there in 5th. And we have Cool Duboy and Wolfbane working together. They're on a different strategy to those they are around. Can they bring themselves further up the field? So everyone else will have to make a pit stop. These two, I think, are able to do 25 laps with their fuel settings. So, Drunk Susan in 8th, TV4 in 10th, Ronnie's in 11th, Bad Peso. I think he's disappeared. Yeah, Bad Peso has vanished. What happened to him? So Bad Peso came into the pits. Had some damage at the front. And I think that's retired. He did. So he decided to quit the race. Oh. So there won't be any points for arrows then. It wasn't a disconnect, because he was in the pits when he quit. So Alexis there in 1st place with Cthulhu in 2nd. The two Aston Martins leaving the field. Speckmere a lap down. And Jam in 4th. Jam is doing 40.1s. So Intulu into the pits. So Intulu coming in. Intulu early in the pits as well. So Intulu decided to do something different as well. So he's deciding to put some new tyres on. He's decided his tyres have got too warm. So he comes in early. In come the Aston Martins then. So they'll be going towards the end. So Speckmere unlaps himself. Jam will be pitting soon as well. With Cool Duboy in 5th and Wolfbane in 6th. So they're going to put themselves into a strong position. Wolfbane now starting to use the overtake. With Cool Duboy. So Jam not pitting this lap. Interestingly enough. Here out come the Aston Martins then. They've not filled up with fuel. They've not got full tanks. They're going for the end. They've got brand new sets of hard tyres. Speckmere into the pits as well. He's in 3rd. Jam will be pitting soon as well. And Cool Duboy in 5th. And Wolfbane in 6th. So Intulu on his own. As just done his stop. Spectre comes out. Jam has not stopped. So Jam trying to do something very different. So Cthulhu and Alexis now. This is where it starts to get interesting. They've got 15 laps to decide who's winning this race. Who has got the most overtake? Alexis has more than his teammate. Jam in the pits, the Ferrari driver. Losing the position again to Specmere. Specmere will overtake. There is the Ferrari, in it comes. Will Jam come out behind Cool Dubois and Wolfbane? Yes, he will. Cool Dubois and Wolfbane passing the Ferrari then, so Cool Dubois up to 4th. Wolfbane in 5th. Now Wolfbane was at the back of the field. He pitted on lap 10, and he's done something completely different to everybody else. He has had some bump draft buddying happening. Bunny's keeping himself a respectful distance behind the car that is a lap ahead of him. Jam in 6th place then, coming out of the pits. He's on the overtake, trying to get himself up to speed as quickly as possible. So he's got a good gap between himself and Cthulhu. They were close together at one point, but now they've got a big gap between themselves. Specmere still in 3rd place. In terms of the championship, Specmere, he finished 3rd at Spa. A 3rd place here would be very good for him. Same with Alexis. Alexis came 2nd at Watkins Glen. So he's putting himself into contention, as is Cthulhu. Cthulhu really having a good result here. We're definitely going to have 3 different winners in the first 3 races here at the Sunday Night League in the Porsche Cup, in the Formula X. I don't know why I said that. Porsche Cup is not happening. This is Formula X. We've got Wolfbane there in 5th. He's got Bunnies in 6th, just behind him, with Cool Dubois in 4th place. There's a bit of smoke happening. These 2 Ferraris, two Aston Martins are getting very close to the end of the race. They're going to have to decide between them who is winning this. Who will win for Aston Martin? Who do we think? Put your name in the comments right now. Obviously, if you've seen the race and took part, then don't spoil it for anybody else, because that would be really sad. But Cthulhu here in 1st place, with Alexis in 2nd, Spectre in 3rd. Wolfbane and Cool Dubois still working together, and they've got Bunnies trying to keep himself out of the way. It is tricky when you're getting a slipstream from those in front. Are they catching up to Specmere? No, that car in front must be. Oh, it's the Brawn. I got confused. So the car ahead is a Brawn. The car behind is a Brawn. But one is a lap down, or nearly a lap down on you. So on board with Jordan, a little touch of the wall on the exit. With Wolfbane there. The accelerator is always down hard. On board with Wolfbane. Oh, a little bit of tapping going on, some glitching maybe. As the Jordan is ahead of the Brawn. Getting some glitching. Jam just all on his own. 39.9 for him on the previous lap. Coming to lap his teammate. Moving Tulu all on his own. Say on his own. Drunk Susan's not far behind, although Drunk Susan having some slow laps. Drunk Susan has less fuel than Intulu ahead of him. So is Drunk Susan having to save fuel whilst Intulu can just burn it? Probably. I think the Ferrari and the Toyota can just burn fuel now. Whilst these two, I having to save a little bit more. You can see half a tank of fuel. But everybody else in the field, now we're getting to the business end for these Aston Martins. Have they made an agreement not to race each other into the final laps? Or maybe just wait until lap number 100 and then decide between them who wins this race. They've got a lap lead. They're able to do whatever they want. They could literally take each other off, spin, and still win this race. Because the car behind them is the Toyota that is a lap down. So here is the third place driver. And there is second ahead of us. Alexis is ahead of us, but it's a lap. So he's stuck in a position where he's got grandstand seats for the race lead, but has no influence over it. Phil Dubois there in fourth with Wolfbane. So Wolfbane is keeping with the top of this pack. Although TB4 I think has got past Bunnies now, so TB4 on board with the Brawn, and again he's hitting the back of cars that are a lap ahead of him. He goes up high, trying to keep out the way, I think. And he is a lot quicker. It is tricky, but if he stays up high. There is Wolfbane. And Bunny's similar situation now. So we've got two battling cars, but there's a lap between them. Now Bunny's trying to get through. Wolfbane having a bit of a slide. I think that's more glitching though. So TB4 again going through with Wolfbane. Trying to keep out of the way as much as he can. But he's aware that Bunnies is also here. Bunnies now into 9th place. They are fighting hard for this 9th. Let's go back to the front of the pack because they have 5 laps left, including the one that they are on, to decide the winner of the Blue Moon Bay 100 here at the Sunday Night League, here at Formula X. Thank you everybody that's watching. Please like, share and subscribe to us. We are here on Sundays at 8 o'clock. Hopefully the schedule will be back to normal next week. So Cthulhu there in first, Alexis in second. They have 4 laps to go. As we see Wolfbane and Cool Dubois trying to pull away. They're in the 40s, but so is Speckmere. Speckmere doing very fast laps on his own. He must have used all of his overtake, he has. So he's just trying to keep away from them. We have Jam, he's in the 140s as well. So he's got a little bit of overtake left. So he's lapped his teammate now. There is in Tulu with Drunk Susan. Drunk Susan has got flashing lights of doom on his fuel gauge. He's got 3 laps left, just over. He is a lap down on the race leader, so it won't be 100 laps for the majority of these drivers. It will be, though, for these two, Cthulhu and Alexis. Let's go on board with Alexis. So he has got about a similar amount of overtake left. So we'll stay with them now. Just keeping position. Using some overtake. And so is Cthulhu. Cthulhu, though, I think is out. Cthulhu is out of overtake. Alexis has a small amount left. So Cthulhu's light is out on his airbox. The red light shows that Alexis has a little bit left. These two are going for the victory then. The fight between the two Aston Martins. Alexis going up high, trying to have a run at his teammate. He then dips down low has gone board with the driver in second place as we go into lap 100 here at the Blue Moon 100. He taps his teammate. Bit of bump drafting. He does not want to overtake too early. You've got to overtake into that final corner if you're going to do it, but Alexis losing some time. He's on the overtake button though. His teammate has nothing left. What does he do? Alexis all in the slipstream of his teammate, going round turn number 2 for the final time. They go into the final corner. Can Alexis do anything? To Cthulhu, it does not look like he's close enough. He's not enough in the slipstream. And Cthulhu goes down her, and Alexis is celebrating already. So, this is formation flying then. There we go then. Cthulhu and Alexis had it all arranged. Speckmere in third place. A lap down though, as Cool Boy and Wolfbane go 4th and 5th. So we got an exciting finish, but actually they must have arranged it between themselves. There is Jam in 6th, into Tulu in 7th place, and Drunk Susan is in 8th, with TB4 in 4th place. At 9th place, 10th place is Bunnies, and 11th place is Digital Blasphemy. But it was the win for Cthulhu and his teammate Alexis Maximus. They lapped the field, the two Aston Martins. Congratulations to them. Congratulations as well to Cthulhu. First win in a long time in the Sunday Night League for him. Well done. And it's third place for Speckmere too. That will have massive implications in terms of the championship. We will see what that does look like in the Discord chat. Remember that the drop scores have become effective as well, so the 2 worst scores from the first 3 rounds at the moment will go and disappear, but it's a rolling drop score. Okay, so it will change throughout the season. Thank you very much for watching on this Bank Holiday Monday. Enjoy the rest of what's left of your bank holiday, depending on when you're watching this. Join us on Sunday for round number 4 at Yamagawa in Japan. It will be fantastic. If anything like this one, it will be unpredictable. And once again, congratulations to Cthulhu for his win here at Blue Moon Bay.